One of my guy friends, he was like, oh, niece, aren't you so proud of me? Like, I have not cheated on my girl in 2 weeks. You want a round of applause for that? Did she have to kiss a few frogs? Yes. Did she have to sleep with a married man? No. Shout out to all my fellow Lawrence Hive members. We're out here, we're up, and we won.
Come set my passions free. Hold me in your arms and wrap me in your love. Your skin glued to mine. I need to feel your touch. Rest your head on me. On us the simple rise. Top of the morning, wake up and look right into your eyes.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Insecure themes, the Insecure breakdown. The last video we talked about interracial dating in LA, like how it's so much more prevalent to see black men with women of other races. They covered that. They covered comparison in your friend groups. We talked about that. We talked about how it's harder for educated black women to find love because we just don't have a lot of matches. We talked about not being where you want it to be at a certain age, just not meeting up to your own expectations at a certain age and stage in life. My first theme that I'm gonna get into from Insecure that really stuck with me was Molly's dating life and how she was just like, she was not settling, but like in the pickiest way, like to where it almost came across as judgmental. And like, what is the line between like just refusing to settle and being overly picky and judgmental? That is something that's really, really hard for me. Like, I'll be so picky and still be picking the wrong nigga. Like, it's so hard. Molly was painted to be like this bitch, and it's just like, dang, she's never happy, she's never satisfied. And in a way, I feel like I could see myself, a lot of myself in Molly. It was one dude, Sterling K. Brown's character. He was like, yes, he was bomb for Molly. He was very, very educated. He had his stuff together. He was fine. She brought him to her family's event. Her family loved him. They were like, yes, girl, he has it. Like, he was so polite. He was well dressed. Like, he had it. And she was just like, no, like, I don't feel it. I don't feel the connection to him. I feel like he's just checking off boxes. And Issa was like, well, aren't you doing the same thing? And it was like, ooh. But yeah, I really felt Molly on that. I really did, because it's hard. I went out on a date before with a guy who was extremely nice. And you could tell he was raised by someone that he really valued. Like, he raved about how like well he was raised, and like he was super sweet. Like, he was very, very nice. I loved talking to him. We had a lot of similarities and things in common that we just really agreed on. We would have really good conversations. But when we finally went out on a date, like, he was just so weird. Like, he was sitting all super close to me, like thigh to thigh, shoulder to shoulder. Like, I just met you. Why are you this close to me? Like, why are we having skin to skin contact? He's rubbing all on my legs in the restaurant, and I'm just like, you're not even supposed to be sitting next to me. You're really supposed to be sitting across the table. Like, the fact that you're sitting next to me is crazy. And I just felt mad uncomfortable because I did not know him. Like, that was my first date with him, and he's doing all of that in a restaurant. Hugged up, booed up, rubbing all on me in front of these people, and I'm just like, that led me to not talk to him again. And like, I'll be thinking about him like, dang, if he hadn't have did that, we probably would have been together. Like, but that was just too much, you know? And it'd be stuff like that. And I'd just be like, dang, am I being too hard? Am I being too picky? Like, what is it? So I really do feel that for Molly. Like, sometimes you don't want to be bothered with stuff you don't want to be bothered with. Like, I get that. So it's hard, like, always finding problems with people. Like, even in her successful relationships where she actually was with the person for a while, like, she would always find a problem with them. Always. So, I don't know. Because it's like, you don't want to settle, but you also don't want to do too much. And Issa had even said that, like, when she had to get back in the dating streets and she was just so uninterested in everybody.
I'm just tired of this dating shit, girl. It's so much fucking work. All the messages I gotta send. I gotta be cute and careful and witty and charming. A lot.
It's just exhausting. Like, it's draining having to literally put yourself on the front lines, always trying to like be the best version of yourself for this person that don't even know you. The next idea, I don't even know if I would call this a theme, but something that stuck out to me was when Lawrence was messing with the girl Tasha, I think that's her name, and like he basically was making it seem like, you know, they were so exclusive. He was always with her, like he would spend weekends with her, like at her house, like chilling, being booed up, doing what they was doing. Like he was very respectful towards her, very kind and all of that. But he knew he wasn't really trying to like be in a serious relationship with her. And she was under the impression that they were like big booed up. So she invited him to her family's barbecue and he shows up, but he's like, bro, this is too much. Like, I don't want to meet your whole family. I'm finna dip. And so he ghosts her at the little family thing. He didn't ghost her because he did text her and told her like, hey, I'm not gonna come back. But that really hurt her. Like, it was embarrassing. Like, dude, I just brought you around my family and you just dipped. Like, what the hell? And she was all hugged up with him, like introducing him to everybody.
I knew it wasn't nothing serious. But see, you fronted like it was. Apologizing for shit you wasn't even sorry for.
No, I was sorry.
You a fuck nigga.
Oh, come on.
No, you know what? You worse than a fuck nigga. You a fuck nigga who thinks he's a good dude.
Ooh, girl, you hit that right on the head. Cause I know like dudes who really like in their mind believe that they are good men and they're trash. I kid you not, I had this conversation with one of my friends, one of my guy friends. He was like, oh, niece, aren't you so proud of me? Like, I have not cheated on my girl in 2 weeks. You want a round of applause for that? Like, you think that that makes you a good guy because you decided for 2 weeks not to cheat on the girl that you chose, that you committed to? Like, you think that makes you a good dude for real? Please be FFR. Please be FFR for 1 second. I felt that. Tasha, she ate with that one. This was another theme that I really liked. Being prideful about collaboration. When Daniel was like trying to get his music scene, he was trying to be a music producer, and one of the guys that he went to high school with, like Daniel taught the guy how to make beats, and the guy ended up skyrocketing past him, like blowing up, being a huge producer for like all these artists in the city. And Daniel's like, dang, like I taught him, like he shouldn't even be there, I should be there. But Issa was trying to encourage him, like, okay, well, yeah, he surpassed you, but like y'all was homies. Use that to your advantage. Like, make the connection, work with him. It doesn't have to be just you or him. Like, y'all could collab. So he was trying to go collab with the dude, and the dude was giving him like, you know, different critiques, like, oh, you should change this, you should do this. And Daniel got all proud about it, like, nah, this is my stuff. Like, I don't need him telling me what to do. I taught him. How he gonna tell me? And it's just like, those type of people never win, they never prosper. And I could get that. Like, I could totally see like you being salty about somebody surpassing you and you know that you're better than them. But sometimes, like, it's not about the talent. Sometimes it's about the connections. It's about the drive. It's about the doors that have been open to those people. Like, sometimes it really is just nepotism. This person's not better than you, but this is my cousin, so I'm gonna put him on, period. And it's like, that's a part of life. You know, I don't like when people are prideful about collaboration. I feel like the Bible literally says, you know, two are better than one. You know, for if one falls, another one can help the other up. Like, I always believe in collaboration. I love that about Issa, because if you listen to her story, she talks about like her making her web series Awkward Black Girl with the people that were around her. Like, she didn't try to network up and be like, oh, let me get Halle Berry to play my mom in this sitcom. It was like, oh, you go to my school, you in the film major program, let me work with you. Like, she networked across and not up, and look at where she is now. And I love that. There is so much power in that. Molly blew me, bro, when she did not want to help Issa get Andrew's connect for her event in South Central. Like, you didn't even want to help your friend do something that would have advanced her career, do something that would have really, you know, set her up for success. You didn't even want to help your friend do that. That is so wild and so crazy to me. You have to be willing to collaborate. You have to be willing to share your resources, to share your networks, to share your ideas, period. Like, if y'all are going to come up as a group, as a team together, like, it's a collaborative effort. And if you sit up here being prideful about it, like, oh, this person got better ideas than me, they passing me up, you're never going to get anywhere, period. Now, this one was what everybody was talking about on TikTok. Who was in the wrong, Molly or Issa, when they was having a little beef or whatever. As much as I love Molly, and I see way more of myself in Molly than I do in Issa, Molly was like 9 times out of 10 in the wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, Issa had her little wrong moments too, but Molly did it up. Like, she was wrong to like the 10th power. A lot of the things I saw in Molly was self-righteousness. Like, in that scene where Issa and Nathan and Asian Bae, I cannot think of his name right now, I think it was Andrew and Molly are all like chilling at the house together after Molly and Issa had already had their little falling out. And Molly accidentally texted Issa and was like, oh, you see, babe, I really am trying with her. And Issa got the text and she's like, bro, what? Like, I'm trying with you too. Like, I don't gotta be here. Like, I'm trying to mend things with you too. Like, you know? And it's always that Molly felt like she was just so much better than Issa. Like, she was just head and shoulders above Issa. And once Issa finally came up and got her stuff together, it was like she was intimidated by it. And somebody on Twitter was like, you can have less than a person and they still be jealous of you. They're still envious of you. They're still intimidated by you. Because it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. The light that you carry is like intimidating to other people, regardless of how much you have. And that scene, if that don't show nothing else, like, that is so evident in Molly and Issa's friendship. Like, Molly was so used to always having everything over Issa, like always being the more successful friend. And now, you know, it's like, I'm trying with her. Like, she was just so uppity about it, and that was so ghetto to me. Like, girl, don't be self-righteous. And even Issa was a little self-righteous too. She was texting Kelly and she was like, are you having the same conversation with Molly telling her to reach out to me? Like, I'm tired of always being the first one to reach out. And they did a lot of beating around the bush. Like, when Issa had first hit Molly up, like, oh, can we go sit down and talk? They literally didn't talk about none of their issues. Like, they just glanced over it. They had such an awkward conversation. Like, oh, how, like, it was so generic. Like, these are not conversations that you would have with your best friend. It's like, oh, how's your mom doing? How was your holiday? How's everything at work? Oh, that's good. It was so dry and so basic. Like, damn, y'all act like y'all, like, cordial. Like, y'all got, you know, like y'all co-workers or something. And I think at that age, especially because in the show they're depicted in their 30s, like, especially if you have long-lasting friends, as long as they've been friends, especially best friends, like, it was so awkward to watch them not be able to navigate that. You're gonna spend life with this person. Like, this is your girl for life. Like, this is your writer for life. And the last and final theme, so somebody on TikTok was giving their opinions of the characters, and they were saying that they felt like Kelly was the most unhappy character. In my opinion, I do not agree. I feel like Kelly was, for a long time, like, she was the loneliest, I think. Like, I don't know, I get why they would think that Kelly was the most unhappy, just because, like, she didn't have a relationship, and, you know, she used her wit and her humor to cover up a lot of her feelings, and she probably felt like a little outcast. And I don't know, I feel like she felt like a lot of people just didn't take her seriously, and I get why, like, they would say that, but she is hilarious in that show. I personally think the most unhappy character was Tiffany. And I'm doing that because I know some of y'all go agree with me. Tiffany was not happy, bro. Like, and it's crazy for her not to be happy because she was the one who was married. And Molly was striving for marriage. Issa was trying to get her relationship back. Like, this 5-year relationship that they went out and picked out rings and everything. Like, they were all trying to get to where Tiffany was. And she was the most unhappy character. After she had her baby, she was going through postpartum. And that's a really big theme in the show too that I can't speak to just because obviously I've never experienced postpartum depression. Tiffany was depressed. She was trying to get away from that man. She literally ran away and got a hotel room and was like, I need to be by myself. Like, didn't tell nobody where she was going. She got these folks on a witch hunt, on a search for her, calling the police and all of that, like looking for her. And she's just like, I cannot take my family. Like, I can't.
Last night and ever since I got pregnant, I just feel so left out. It's like I really pushed myself to party with y'all.
Girl, we just wanted one last hurrah before the baby came.
It's just, everything's different now. Like, we're different now.
We don't have to be. Shit changes all the time. And we'll always be friends. Yeah, I hope so.
She felt like she was losing her friends, you know. I also think that she was really unhappy when her and her husband ended up moving out of state, because she was even further away from everybody. Like, you already feel far from your friends, like emotionally in the same state. So imagine your husband up and moving you out of the state. Like, she was so unhappy, and I think that was big because it's like the same thing I was saying in the last video. Like, you should be happy because you've achieved this goal that everybody else is climbing towards, but you don't know what that girl is dealing with emotionally and inside of that marriage that y'all want so bad. And it was so interesting to me how, in my eyes, they made her the most unhappy character, and she was married. And y'all, if y'all notice, like, every time the girls would have like a heated discussion about relationships, she would always be like, well, I'm the one with the ring. I'm the one with the ring on my hand. I'm married. And it's just like, girl, you still not happy though. And you got a good man. Like, that man loved her. And she still wasn't happy. And even at the end when Molly was like on vacation on her honeymoon with Torian, and she was like, dang, like, yeah, this is great, but I miss y'all. Like, I want to have a girls trip, like, you know, or I need a solo vacation. Like, I don't feel like we got to do everything together. Like, I love that they show that real side of marriage. Like, it's not all happiness. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like, sometimes these people in these marriages really do be needing a break. Like, don't want to be in the marriage, want to be an individual. So I thought that was really dope that they explored that theme. Like, don't feel like you have to strive for that. Like, don't feel like that's the pinnacle of success, because people get there and they still not happy. And like, I just didn't like that. Like, Tiffany was actually the character that I liked the least. Like, out of the girls' friend group, I'm the prissy one in the group. I have the ring. I'm married. Like, y'all can't tell me nothing about sex, about relationships, about love until you get on my level with this ring. And it's like, girl, you are miserable. You going home crying every night. You going home sick of this baby and sick of this man. So yeah, all in all, that concludes my insecure takes, my insecure themes that I found throughout the show. I loved it. I love how they depicted Black LA. Literally, they had every spot in there. The Service Boom, Randy's Donuts, all of Inglewood, like Roscoe's. They was all up and through LA, and I love that. They showed Black businesses. Like, it was just beautiful. I love Issa. I love what she did with that show. It was pivotal in my adulting life and journey, and I love that it's on Netflix for us to binge and rethink about again. So I will say, now that I've gotten all my themes out the way, I've always been in the Lawrence hive. We love and we stand Lawrence over here. Okay, did he mess up so bad in season 1? He forgot her birthday. He didn't have no job. He was a bum. Their chemistry is so undeniable. Like, nobody understood Issa like Lawrence. Nobody. And they loved each other. Like, he was graced for her awkwardness, for her wittiness. Like, every joke that she told, he was able to like banter back and forth with her. Some of the dudes she was with, they didn't get her jokes. Like, they didn't think she was funny. They thought she was weird. Lawrence loved, embraced, and accepted all of that. And I just loved them together. I was so happy that they ended up together in the end. And a lot of people were like, she settled for him. Like, she could have did better than Lawrence. She should have stayed with Nathan. A lot of people wanted her to be with Nathan. I did not like Nathan at all. He was the least attractive out of all her men to me. And he was like just flaky. I didn't like how he ghosted her and just like, you know, showered her with all this love and attention and then just dipped. Like, what? And then came back and they was in a full relationship. Like, that was so weird and corny to me. Even when he ran away after the fight, like, why would you leave her? I don't know what y'all be thinking about her and Nathan, but he was not it to me at all. And so, yeah, that was pretty much it. I really liked Daniel, just not for her. But Daniel was coming through saving the day. He was very generous towards her. He was always like there when she needed him, and I loved that for her. I loved that like dynamic of their relationship. But at the end of the day, nobody is surpassing Lawrence. And shout out to all my fellow Lawrence Hive members. We're out here, we're up, and we won. Period. Like, the only thing I didn't like about the whole Lawrence thing was like he did have that baby with Condola. But they needed a little drama. They needed a little spice. You had to write something crazy like that into the storyline of their relationship. And if Issa like being a stepmama, I love it. She was in her 30s. I feel like at that age, in your 30s, like, you do have to be open to, you know, being with men with kids and stuff. So that was good for her, you know, and that they could still have kids of their own. So yeah, I was very happy with the ending of Insecure. I was so happy to see Molly get married. Y'all don't know how much joy that brought to my heart. Like, to see this boss, educated, hardworking, lawyer, dark-skinned woman get married to somebody that was her equal. Like, literally same level of boss, same law firm, same career, same level of education. Like, yes, Molly, yes. Did she have to kiss a few frogs? Yes. Did she have to sleep with a married man? No. That was her choice. But I was so like, I'm almost in tears, y'all. Like, that level of representation, like, oh my god, I couldn't have loved that visual more. The character development for Molly, fantastic. Those writers for Insecure, they deserve it all. Like, literally, you went from Insecure to Secure. Issa went from Insecure to Secure. Like, even Kelly, you know, finding her man and expecting, like, that was just so beautiful to me. That really was so beautiful. Like, they used a lot of her storyline for comedic relief, but to finally see her in the end, like, you know, happy with her family on the way, like, Insecure just does it for me. I love Insecure. I love Issa Rae. Every black LA girl's dream, Insecure. Like, I just love it. And Issa, she made the Dooms a tourist attraction. Like, niggas literally come to LA and go flick up in front of the Dooms because of what Issa did with Insecure. Like, you ate that. You ate that, sis. You really did. I hope y'all liked this series. Let me know again if y'all are rewatching it, what y'all think this time around. What's y'all favorite parts of Insecure, y'all favorite characters. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Until next time, bye.